Does this sound familiar? You have a whole bunch of people, some of them sign up for a trial, but then there's a good percentage of them that never become a paying customer. Well, if that sounds like something that happens to you, this might be the most important video you ever watch, because what I'm going to talk about is how to convert more customers from trial signups, but more importantly, how to do it faster. Let's dive right in. Alrighty, so this is actually something I've done quite a bit. Most recently, I was working with a customer where all of their new business was coming from trial signups. They call this product-led growth. The product drives the growth of the organization. By having a really good product that people can try before they buy, they're able to lower their customer acquisition costs because the product is there to be used. Now, what does this mean for the sales process? Because a lot of times people think that product-led growth means we don't hire salespeople. Well, quite the contrary. Some of the largest product-led companies have huge sales teams. For example, Slack. Slack has hundreds of sales reps, but they're a product-led company. Well, why would they do that? A couple of reasons. One is because it allows them to go up market. The reality is, in order to close enterprise and mid-market deals, it is a lot more effective to have a sales team giving a more personalized sales experience than it is being purely product-led. The other reason is speed of conversion and conversion itself. So I want to focus this video on the conversion piece. How do we increase the conversion, both the speed and the percentage of people who go from trying your product to actually buying? And I was working with a company a couple of years ago, really focused on this problem. They were getting trial signups to come through, but they weren't converting as many customers as they wanted. So we added this process with their sales team to accelerate that conversion. Where did it start? From the first trial signup. When that customer signed up for the trial for the first time, within 5 minutes, the sales rep was calling that person to introduce themselves and offer to help them really get off to the right foot with the trial. This was a non-salesy conversation. It was all about what motivated the prospect to sign up for the trial in the first place and how they can make the most out of their trial experience. On that call, they would either schedule a deep kickoff to where they would actually kick off the trial process with that person, or they would schedule a next step to answer any questions that came from the trial. Usually that would be about a week later. They would get back on with the prospect and go over what challenges they had using the product, also what things they really liked about the product, then ultimately scheduling a more formal onboarding where they roll out the product as a paying customer to the rest of their team. By doing this, what we saw was a 2x increase of new sales, 2x, just by reaching out to trial signups and having conversations with them on how they could better use the trial, because the better they were using the trial, the more likely they were to become paying customers. So how do you implement this for yourself? Well, it's really simple. When someone signs up for a trial, immediately route that as a lead to the sales rep that's responsible. You can round robin that if you have multiple sales reps, or you can have it go into a group channel where the next available sales rep jumps on it. The responsibility of the sales rep is to get that person on the phone and then schedule a time for them to walk through the trial and make sure that that prospect is set up for success during the trial period. That is the first objective. The second objective is to schedule another meeting, a next step, where they're going to sit down and get feedback on what the prospect thought about using the product on the trial period. Things like, what questions came up? What things do you like? What do you think is going to have the most impact? What do you wish it did that maybe it doesn't, or maybe it does and they just couldn't figure out how to use it? This hand-holding really gives the prospect confidence that they're not only going to receive a good experience from working with your organization, but they're also going to have a good experience using the product because they're no longer alone. And then finally, assuming we check all the boxes for that prospect, the final step is then moving forward as a paying customer. What we found is that by having the salespeople part of the process, converting trial signups into paying customers, we not only see them do that quicker at a higher percentage, but we also see more licenses being sold because there might be more use cases that the prospect didn't originally notice in the beginning. So what's the next step for you? Well, go ahead, implement this into your own process and watch what impact it has on your conversions. And I look forward to hearing about it in the comments.